Ready?
Bad boy. Oh yeah, yeah. If you're talking to me, I'm
All
ready.
right. The who anything you don't want to cover, brother? Because what I'm thinking is let's do because we're gonna be doing this like as a preview as a weekly. So if you want to talk a little bit about current events, um,
Whatever, brother.
you as a former Jew and a former Muslim probably got a unique perspective on what's going
Yeah.
on in the Middle East.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ready?
Let me know. Let me know. Yeah, when we rock. I don't know if there's an intro
Yeah,
or just walk.
I'm just waiting for the final go when because we got to record all this stuff. All right, I'm gonna start in 10 seconds. Did you want to record it too, or should we just send you a copy?
Yeah, you can just send me a copy,
No
brother. I
problem.
appreciate it. Yeah.
All right, I'll start my intro right after I drink this. Welcome to a GG33 podcast, and today I got my favorite guest, who is now going to be officially a co-host, and more so, a guy who just spits knowledge nonstop. I've never seen anyone spit knowledge like you, with maybe the exception of me. But you know shit I don't know, brother. So it's always a pleasure to have you here, Dehute.
And vice versa, brother. That's what makes it a great brotherhood, association, friendship, brother. We learn from each other, man.
And I can't say I've done that from too many people, brother. That's the.
Same here, good brother. Same here.
Anyways, we've done 2 podcasts together. I think we put in at least 6 hours to 7 hours of airtime. That stuff's all over the internet. People can check out who this man is. But Dehute, let's just start off a little bit about who you are, and then we're gonna get to what everything is because some people might not know who you are, and I think
Right.
it's about time they recognize.
Yeah, Tahuti Madra from around the way. Been on the scene for a minute. In all due honesty, I've been underground to the best of my ability for the past decade, if you will. My only presence has been on social media, and that's X, formerly known as Twitter. But I'm a researcher, a metaphysician, a traditional herbalist, a juris peritus, that is one who was skilled in the law, and a bunch of other things, man. I'm all around when it comes to knowledge. 360 degrees, man. I pretty much cover any and everything that is pertinent to our existence as human beings on this planet. So, sexuality, relationships, diet, health, well being, biology, finances, money, metaphysics, mental science. I mean, you name it. I don't know everything. I'm not saying I know everything, but for the most part, 360 degrees of wisdom, understanding, and knowledge.
Not only that, you're a GG33 gold member, and you know numerology and astrology in the elite level too, brother.
Oh yeah, absolutely, brother. The reason why I don't go hard with that, brother, hey, that's your domain, brother. That's your field. I send people to you, bro. People are hitting me up
as I said,
like,
all the holistic people to you, brother.
brother. The past 3 weeks is just insane. I'm not gonna lie to you, brother. It's almost frightening, man. The people that are like coming my way because you know me, I like to keep it small. You know, I would never turn people away, but I'm not gonna lie. I put it out there in the universe. Universe, let's contain this here because
Hey,
I do
hey,
not.
brother, what'd you expect was gonna happen? You come on podcast with me,
Yeah, that's true. That's true,
you
brother.
know.
That's it.
In 2024, right around the corner, my brother over here is born on the 24th. He was just talking about X. X is the 24th letter. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah, brother. I'm witnessing now, brother. I cannot lie to you. I am witnessing it right now. So I'm just doing my best, brother, to take it one day at a time to be able to serve the people, brother, because that's what I'm here for. I know I talked about all the things that I'm into, but number one, I'm here to serve people. And it's not just wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. It's also actual assistance, brother. I'm in court with people, brother. I do legal pleading, bro. I'm going to court here in Los Angeles County in 2 weeks. So it's not just a verbal or oral thing, man. It's physical, man.
I see a lot of books behind you, brother. This is something we used to see back in the day with a lot of people, but not so much anymore. Can you
right.
give us a breakdown of like what percentage of your books are metaphysics or health or law? Because I see a lot of books back there. I want to see what's in that mind of yours.
Man, like that view is probably 1/50th of all the books that I have. As a matter of fact, brother, I just got another place, man, another 1,000 square feet just for books. It is insane, brother. But as I was saying in the intro, brother, I'm it's pertaining to human activity, life on this planet, brother. My library reflects that. These books behind me are relationships, brother. Every relationship, Mac book, a pimp book, alpha male book, you name it, is there. All the books on feminism are there. All the books on malehood and masculinity are there behind me. You know, back here to my right, that is my conscious movie watching section of DVDs. Those are movies. These are not your average movies that you know how people just
Give me three
want to watch
movies. Give me three movies that are in there.
three movies. Oh wow, you got They Live in there. You got the movie Beirut in there. Um, you got Hidden Agenda in there. So that category back there is life after death, family films, Christian or devotional films because I like those for the morals. Then I have a history, real life history, movies about, Gaddafi, movies about Castro, movies about Hitler, movies about Franco, just, history. Um,
Franco is one of my role models.
oh,
He's
yeah,
one of my heroes. He put a lot of communists in the ground, brother.
absolutely. Yeah,
I've never been to Spain, but
yeah,
he has my eternal gratitude because when you put communists in the ground, brother, you're actually
yeah,
doing God's work.
yeah. I got movies on that cat back there, man. This right here, brother, it's an awesome collection of movies. Okay. Now you guys can't see the DVDs in the back room back there, man. I got thousands upon thousands of documentary. It's insane. It's something that you've never seen. Over in here is a pantry, and that's my deep state collection. So I have books on the deep state, the CIA, FBI, the NSA, you name it, man. Bossy, who played a role in killing Malcolm X, that's in my deep state collection. Okay, and to my left is my metaphysics, it's my spirituality. That's my number one category. It is replete with
So you
everything.
have it just like the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain. Do you specifically do
Absolutely,
it that way?
absolutely. And then right here to my left, I got all the books on. Not the back here is a feminist book. That's political. That's
Mm.
Marxist. Over here is my goddess studies, man. Female sexuality. Great, 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 great books. And then two bookshelves down is the legal section, man. And that's my baby right there. Behind health, law is my baby. So these books to my left is what has allowed me to prevail in legal actions, not just on
You
social media
beat the
talk,
feds. Let's
but
not be
in,
shy. You
but
beat
in
the
court.
feds.
In court. Oh, man, I've dealt with the feds. I've dealt with the state. I dealt with the county, the city. You name it, man. I'm in court in 2 weeks assisting somebody, right? Because I'm straight. After my divorce, I've been straight. But this section over here, this is my ammunition right here. I don't like to go there with people, but if I do, man, I'm a dangerous man because law, it just comes to me.
Man said he got hands.
It just comes to me just like that, man. And the legal pleading, that's the declaration of war. I do my fighting on paper. You know how they say the pen is mightier than the sword? That's that.
Our kosher brothers prove that.
Yeah, you see, so when it comes to like battling, I do my battling in courts of law because that's where the real fighting
Because you're a
is done.
civilized man. And that's where
Absolutely.
civilized people fight in the court of law.
That's right. And the people who fight on the streets, they get crushed in courts of law. You see.
The
But
biggest, baddest motherfucker in the streets will fucking cry like a little baby in court.
he has no power. And I've seen it. I've seen women in family court deduce these dudes, big stud, bulky type dudes, into bitches, man, into little bitches, man, like powerless, man. I've seen it. in all due honesty, it was one of the saddest things I ever seen, man, because you're dealing with a grown man and tears coming out the eyes, and he just feels hopeless, man, and doesn't know what to do. And as a man, that resonates with me. But the point you're making is, they're in the gym lifting the dumbbells rather than the smart bells, which are the books. They're not lifting the books. I can't, 9/10 of the dudes are not. Some cats do, but they're not lifting the books. Knowledge is the key. Knowledge is the heaviest thing to lift. The book is the heaviest thing to lift. And these cats are not doing it, man. And so the attorneys are working on behalf of the females. So the females are crushing the dudes, man. Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've seen men walk out of their children's lives, man. So I want to make
What do
a
you mean,
point.
Djehuty? They can't go like this, and flex in front of the judge and win?
Oh, just like my father told my brother, who was a bodybuilder. He said, the next time you're hungry, you have no money, you go to Burger King and you order a Whopper and some fries and a large beverage. And when that woman tell you how much it costs, flex your muscles and see if you walk out of that damn Burger King with some food. So it's the same thing. That's absolutely correct, brother.
All
That's
right, all right, brother. I want to get into a serious topic now. World War I spiraled out of control. Someone got assassinated. All of a sudden, we had people picking sides, and before you know it, you have the biggest war at that time in world history, World War I. On October 7th, which was interestingly enough Vladimir Putin's birthday, and that's interestingly enough when the Russian offensive started in Ukraine. Interesting how that worked. The Palestinians, not so much, but segments of a organization called Hamas infiltrated Israel's security. Again, I'm not quite sure how that is even possible without someone letting you in, but that's a story for another day. These Hamas members went into Israel and killed about 1,300 people in their homes in cold blood. In retaliation, a government that was on the brink of civil war under Benjamin Netanyahu, who now has complete power, no one's challenging him anymore, is pretty much bombing Gaza, and there's a lot of innocent people who are dying because of it. Yet Hamas, who he says he's trying to kill, is in Gaza. They sent the troops in. They basically got a war going on. Now, as atrocious as that sounds, and we'll talk about that in a second, we also have Hezbollah. We also have the Houthis in Yemen who have declared war on Israel too. So now we have two groups. These are basically proxies of Iran. But the biggest proxy is Hezbollah. And they have said if things have not settled down in Gaza by a certain date, they're going to declare war too. Now, if Hezbollah starts fighting, and that's a real power military over there, that's not like Hamas or the Houthis. They got some real muscle. That could lead to World War III. The U.S. could get involved. Other countries could get involved. This could get real, real dirty. My first question to you, my friend, is both sides seem to have legitimate claims. You, as a person who says he was Jewish and Muslim and Catholic or Christian at one point, and again, if I'm wrong, please tell us what it is. You might have a unique perspective on this. So again, what do you think of the situation that started on October 7th and what has led to what's happening right now?
100% false flag. It's no way in the world anybody on planet Earth could penetrate Israel. Okay, Israel is the most technologically sophisticated military, or has the most sophisticated military on planet Earth. And I have the facts. I have former members of the IDF stating that it was false flag. That is no way in the world. Even animals, cats come up and it triggers their system. So that's totally impossible that Hamas could penetrate that wall, that gate, get into Israel and allegedly do the harm and destruction that they have been said to have done or committed. Okay. So when we look at IDF members saying this is this is not, I'm sorry, let me turn this thing off that's going to distract me. You got IDF members, former members, stating that it's impossible because they were in IDF. They worked the towers. The wind blows, certain bushes blow towards the gate, and it triggers that defense system. So a group, not a military from another nation, but a group, a political group, blowing up that defensive wall of Israel, getting in Israel and doing stuff that's impossible. The way they did it is impossible. Israel has a history of the suicide bombers. That's the only exception to the rule, right? They get in Israel and they appear normal and they go into a restaurant or supermarket and they blow themselves up.
Yeah.
But the way Hamas did it, no way
Okay,
in the
so
world.
so we are both in agreement that there's
Netanyahu,
no chance in hell that
it's
Hamas could have got in there without someone letting the key in for him. They let him in, basically.
they let them in because the facts will show that Israel and the United States of America were the ones who set up Hamas. You have Congressman Ron Paul on the record stating how we created them. In this instance, he's talking about the United States of America, how we created and how we financed Hamas. Because back in the day, Israel, number one opponent
Yasser
was
Arafat.
PLO,
Yasser
led by,
Arafat.
led by Yasser Arafat. And so Yasser Arafat wasn't giving in. So they didn't want to deal with the PLO. They were not getting anywhere dealing with Yasser Arafat. So Hamas was created. It's like what we do in elections. You know how Ross Perot got in back in like 92 to split the Republicans?
Correct.
Make it easy for Clinton to win, to get in. Well, it's the same thing in this situation here. You create Hamas, and so now Hamas takes away from like the PLO, and the next thing you know, Hamas, under a so-called democratic election, becomes the government of Gaza. So now they don't have to worry about Yasser Arafat, the PLO. We can deal with this group right here that we control. We can have them to bomb because we need that excuse because Israel spends a fortune on its military and they need practice, just like the United States needed practice during the Iraqi war. All of our new equipment, we practice in these wars, which are proxy wars, by the way. So that's what Israel does. So Israel needs Hamas to justify the use of its military. So when we start talking about Hezbollah, Hamas, all of them, and I have the facts in that back room back there is my Middle East library that will blow your freaking mind. That right there is to keep this script going. It's a money bag. It's all about money. Israel gets a lot of weapons from us. This is why a lot of taxpayers are pissed off. Like our tax dollars are going to Israel. We're spending the money building up the weapons, the tanks, the submarines, the choppers, and we're sending it to Israel, and Israel is using it to commit genocide, yada, 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 yada. Hey, that's been going on for a minute. Most people do not know the reason Israel, little baby Israel, that was just born in 1948, most people don't know this. Israel defeated Egypt, Syria, and Jordan in 1967. And people call it the 6-Day War. Wrong. It was the 60-minute war. Israel spanked ass in 60 minutes with covert help from the United States of America. This is where that whole USS Liberty incident comes into play around this time right here. But what a lot of people don't know is that Israel, thanks to the United States of America reconnaissance plane and the vice president, Hubert Humphrey, going to Egypt, but it was the same thing that took place with the Cal 007 flying over Russia. It was reconnaissance. They were taking pictures. So even though this was a government plane like Air Force One, but the plane that the vice president travels in, it flew over the Suez Canal, Sinai area, and took photographs of all the planes that were on the ground that belonged to the Arab League,
Mm-hmm.
Egypt, Syria, and Jordan. Took those pictures, sent the pictures to Israel. Israel flew over that area and dropped LSD 25, which is a clear, odorless gas. You can't smell it, has no taste. They dropped it over that area there.
Isn't that a war
Every
crime?
Technically it is, but most people don't know this. I deal with a lot of stuff that most people don't know, which is why I sound crazy to a lot of people. But I've done the research. I don't do CNN. I don't do headline news, anything like that. I deal with the information that is in books, books that are off the market and books that cost a fortune. I just spent $2,500 on a book 2 weeks ago.
You spend more money on books than most people do on drugs.
I just spent $2,500 on a little old raggedy book. I can show it to you. It cost me $2,500. It was the last one on the market, printed in 1921. But anyway, my point is, I have information, and I'm blessed to have the funds to purchase this information. But I have information that most people are not privy to. But anyway, getting back to 1967, Israel dropped that LSD 25 gas on that Sinai Suez Canal area where the Arab League had their jets on the ground. So this is why Israel was able to kick behind, because the Egyptians, the Syrians, the Jordanians,
No air
man,
cover.
hey, they were they were, yeah, exactly, but they were narcoleptic. They was out because LSD 25 wears off after about 12, 13 something minutes. So there was no air cover. So Israel spanked that ass because the air cover, the members of the air cover, or who would have provided the air cover, they were out of their minds, man. They were narcoleptic, man. So Israel bombed all those damn planes in less than 60 minutes. That's why when we say the six-day war, 6-day war is a misnomer, bro. 60 minutes. They let that war go on just to make it, appear that
Okay.
it was a war, and that the Arab League gave defense, or they fought back, what have you. Wasn't the
I
case.
get it. I get it. Let me say that just to back up what you were saying, um, Fatah and Hamas had a war in 2006 where Fatah actually lost Gaza, and they had. Now, see, Israel was asked back then, how come you're not sending weapons to help Fatah? They're like, oh, we don't want them to be captured by Hamas. Lie. Hamas was founded 1987, the year of the cat. Their biggest
Yeah.
attack against Israel, 2023, the year of the cat. Oh, almost a coincidence, guys. So again, I agree with what you're saying. This was all a setup, top level Illuminati people on both levels. Even the people Hamas told them to go in at a certain time. This is coordinated, 100%. But
110%.
but the rest of the world ain't gonna understand that, Djehuty.
And I don't even care about that.
No, the rest of the world is not gonna understand that. What?
No.
So let's go back to Victor's history now, because this is the difficult part. Me and you, we know what's going on. So, but most of the society, they're blind to this shit. So
Right.
let's go back to what the Victor's history. You have 1,300 people who were gunned down. The Israelis have killed about 15,000 in retaliation. Could we see the brink of World War III start, just like they happened in World War I, if this continues? What are the chances? And do both sides had a legitimate claim? They really do. Palestine was Palestine before it became Israel, but then again, the Romans kicked the Jews out 3,000, 2,000 years ago. Both sides have a claim. So I think that's one of the things about, you being a Muslim and a Jew at some point in your life. What is your opinion on the subject? Because you had to think about it before.
Oh no, like I said, I have all the books back there. So when you deal with Palestine, the Palestinian people have been there for thousands of years. And when you have Jerusalem, you have the Muslims, the Christians, the Jews also being there for thousands of years. If the political leaders involved would have dealt with the whole landmass thing based upon the United Nations, we wouldn't have a problem. So the problem comes from, I hate to say it, they lost, man. The Arab League, they lost in 1967, right? Now, I know it wasn't fair because of the whole LSD and handcuffing them, what have you, but they lost in 1967, which means they lost the West Bank, they lost Gaza, and they lost the Golan Heights. Now, when we look at things from an international legal perspective or lawful perspective, according to the UN, which the West set up, the United States set up, the UN says Israel is in the wrong, give up the land. Israel, to this day, has refused to give up that land, let those people go. They have a big wall around the Palestinian people. This is why people call it the largest.
This is in Gaza, not the West Bank. In Gaza, correct?
There's a big wall that traps these people in. Now, in the West Bank, that's an open air prison. They just don't have what is in Gaza. They have the IDF. They have like the military. So this is why you hear the whole state of Israel being an apartheid state, because in these areas here, these people are trapped. And what's going on right now is in Gaza specifically. And what most people don't know is the reason why this, and I mean, it's not even a war because the Palestinians are no match for Israel. But what most people don't understand is this is what Hitler was going to do in World War II. Hitler wanted Berlin to be bombed because he was going to build Germania. And so war makes it easy to get rid of the old to make way for the new.
So they want to get rid of them.
Right. So they want to get rid of the they are going to get rid of the Palestinian people. I really hate to say this because a lot of people
in Gaza or the West Bank too.
No, they want Gaza because they're going to build the Ben Gurion Canal that's going to rival the Suez Canal. And Israel and America will own that, and they're going to make billions of dollars. This is why the United States people, man, sometimes it just eats you up to know the truth because people out there, they're so hopeful and Israel's going to fall and the Palestinians are going to get free. Not going to happen, people. They are clearing out space in Gaza to prepare for the Ben Gurion Canal. This is business. This is all this is.
So it's not personal. It's business.
It's not personal at all. It's business. And
how do you tell people who have lost their kids and have lost their relatives that it's just business? How do you say that to people? You know, they're watching this and they'll be like, you know, what the hell are you talking about? Because wait a second, what is that, Djehuty? Once you kill somebody and you kill a member of someone's family, aren't they the next generation of terrorists? And from what I understand, 40% of Palestinians are under 15 years old. When those kids grow up, I mean, they're going to be a problem, no?
No, but that's what Israel and America wants, man. This is military. Have you ever seen the movie Lord of War with Nicolas Cage?
Yes, of course. Nicolas Cage, born January 7th, like me, brother.
It's business, man. It's not personal. It's business. So these people mean nothing. It's just like in the Vietnam War. You know, American citizens were murdered galore during the Vietnam War. A lot of POWs were left behind after the Vietnam War. People are like human resources. So they don't care about the Palestinian people. They don't care about the Israeli people. They don't care about the American people.
What about Turkey? What about Iran? What about the Houthis? What about Hezbollah? Are they just using this as an excuse, or do they actually care about the Palestinians?
No, they do not. And those nations don't have no power. I'm sorry to really break it down to the people. There is no nation on planet Earth that can mess with the United States of America. Now, you can say it about Israel, but that's only because America has Israel back. When we talk about the military might on planet Earth, there is no nation on planet Earth that can mess with America. Let me tell you something. You can put Iran, you could put China, you could put Russia, you could put North Korea all together against America. They would not stand a chance. So America needs boogeymans. It needs so-called terrorist states and terrorist cells to justify its budget. There is no threat. There is no terrorist. The United States of America is it. and we need a boogeyman. When Russia allegedly fell in 1989, I believe it was 89 or 90, Russia or the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic fell
Mm.
in 1989. Communism, the boogeyman, was over with, but the military industrial complex still existed, and it has a voracious appetite. How do you feed it now that the boogeyman communism is over? You create a new one, because it's all about the isms and the schism, right? The Bolshevism, right? Nazism, communism. So the new boogeyman became terrorism in 1990 when Papa Bush was in office. And that's how they kept it going. So ever since 1990, we have been dealing with a new boogeyman called terrorism, and the Arab or Muslim world is the face of it.
Let me ask you, Djehuty, if terrorists are that big of a problem, why is the
And
Mexican border wide open? If terrorism is that big of a problem, then why wouldn't they just like come through Mexico and fucking do whatever the fuck they want to do? Because apparently the border's wide fucking open.
the Truman Show, brother. When you study like the things that I've studied, you know that it's a production. It's a stage production. In my military section of my library, I have several books that in the title have the word or the phrase theater of war. Why do you think they call it theater of war? Because a theater is a place you go to see a staged production. And this whole goddamn earth is a stage. And we're witnessing production. When this situation ends, or they take the cameras off of it, because a lot of stuff never ends, they just take the cameras off of it. Like the Atlanta child murders. The Atlanta child murders never ended. They just took the camera off of that situation. You see, and it kept going on, little black children still being murdered by the KKK, what have you. You see, so when this situation ends or they remove the cameras, it's going to be something else. It's always going to be something on planet Earth. That's just the name of the game.
Are you worried about are you worried about World War III, Djehuty? Are you worried about this spiraling out of control?
No, it'll look like it's spiraling out of control to us, but to these people, the script writers, is not out of control. Look here, brother. Order out of chaos.
Yeah,
Order
correct.
out of chaos. Order out of chaos. What we got going on right now, brother? Chaos. And what's going to come out of it? Order. This all plays a part of what has been going on since 2020. These people are getting ready for 2030 and 2040 and 2050. They're not playing with us anymore.
All generational.
Yeah, they're not playing with us anymore. So the American people, like, man, is dystopian, and Tahuti, you're talking about they're going to put the kill switch in our cars, and they're going to be able to remote control our cars, and and we're not going to have access to money. Our money is going to be digital. So you're saying that the next 2030, so the next COVID-like situation or psyop, you're saying that all the people that managed to get away, they're going to be got. And so people are freaking out, like, Tahuti, this is just too much, right? Because the entrepreneurs didn't get touched during the COVID psyop, right? It was the people, the W2, W4 people who were caught. So many people tell me right now, so many people are purchasing my post-vax C19 clench, right? Because they took the jab. And when I asked them, why did you take the jab? Hey, my job, my job. I did it for my family. I got mouths to feed, right? But the entrepreneurs, a lot of them made it out. But when you have the central bank digital currency in effect, right, and it's time to take a shot, take a pill, or whatever form they want to have it in, and you say no, then you're going to experience what those truckers in Canada experience. The money. You see, the only way we got out of it, those of us who were entrepreneurs and had enough money, and we didn't have to deal with the W2, W4 bullshit, because we're in control of our lives, we're in control of our businesses. Well, what happens when everything goes digital and you say no to the shot? Then what? Because these people, they studied us, Gary. They studied us from 2020 to 2022. They looked at all the people who caved in, and then they looked at all the people who rebelled. And so they know by 2030, they got a segment of the population they got to deal with. That rebellious aspect of the population. they need them to bow down the next time around, which is 2030. We're talking about 6 or 7 something years. And this is going to happen like every 10 years. They cannot have anybody going up against them. So what's going to happen? The money, brother, the DC, digital currency. That's going to be the true test, brother, right there. Because when you say, no, I don't want that shot, what have you, and I don't trust the government, you're going on a certain list because people who talk like that, are in that
Oh, so
category.
me and you on the list together, huh, Djehuty?
Yeah, but see, Tahuti's always doing his due diligence, though. I'm always staying a step ahead. This is why yesterday they said, Tahuti, you have an attitude. It's like, no, Tahuti was hitting them goddamn law books because I study these people. I have been blessed to be able to study these people, man, and to be able to see these moves. This is why, brother, I've been untouched. I here in California, brother, I got friends. I drive by their former businesses. I say former businesses because they were shut down, brother, shut down. And so when I run into them, which I do periodically, I can't tell them how I'm doing. I can't let people know what I did in order to survive. You know what I'm saying? Because then I'll have eyes on me. So I'm not worried about 2030. I'm always a step ahead of these fools, bro. And
Uh,
they're always planning. Gary, the Department of Defense, right? And other government agencies, do they shut down like courthouses and corporate buildings 9 to 5?
oh yeah, they do. Of course.
No, for the people, right? The Department of
Yes.
Defense and all those people, they work Monday through Friday,
Yeah.
right? The courthouse is shut down, right? They
Correct.
start open at 8:30, shut down at
You
4:30,
you
right?
get locked up on Friday. Gotta wait till Monday.
Right. But does crime stop when the court closed at 4:30? Does all crime in America stop? Do so-called terrorist planning to blow up and do things? Do they stop? Are we all on the court? Hey, it's 4:30. We gotta chill. Drug dealers not selling no drugs after 4:30 p.m. Is that the case?
I don't
No.
think so.
Justice never fucking sleeps. Justice never sleeps. So when you have government agencies, the FBI and all these other places shutting down at 4:30, it lets you know that this is the Truman Show. Because if we were really dealing with terrorism and crime and all these horrible things, shit would be open 24/7. I
What if someone says the police station's pretty much open 24/7?
Yeah, but see, you have the emergency, but the regular police, they got regular hours as well too.
Correct.
They got regular. Everybody's 8:30 to 4, the corporate hours because these are corporations. So of course the police department is going to be open on the back end to bring the criminals in and the people that the judge signed a warrant for. Why do you think the judge has got to be available 24/7? If the court is closed at 4:30, how do police officers get warrants in the middle of the night? Judge got to always be available. But see, that's back end stuff there. People should be able to go to the police department, right? Can you go to the police department at 12:30 for help? They're going to tell you to call. Or in like in Vallejo, California, they got a little call box, what have you. You can't open that door and go into the lobby and hell, I need help, or I need to get some records, some documents, some spousal abuse documents, what have you. It's shut down. It's
Yeah. When
closed.
when I went to the FBI, they made me wait 20 minutes in my car. I told them I'm here. They're like, okay, go in your car. We'll get you in 20 minutes.
My point is that if all of this stuff was real, you would have a lot of agencies operating 24/7 on the front end as far as the people being concerned. And that's not the case. And that hasn't been the case in several decades. So a lot of us, we're fearful of a lot of things that we really don't have any business being fearful of because it's a charade. All right. This is a machination of those behind the scenes who are pulling the strings of the people out front. You see, and we're responding to that. You asked me about World War III. I don't worry about a so-called World War III because I know we're not going to have any more wars to the degree of a World War II. That World War
That's
II
never
was
gonna happen again.
that's over with. That's never ever going to happen again. That served its purpose. What we're going to have now are proxy wars to keep the military industrial complex operating. See, during World War II, see, this is what happened, right? A lot of people think America just blew up and we was just balling after World War II and prosperity, what have you. What they don't know is that too was created. See, The reason why World War II went on as long as it did, because the war should have been over with by 1942. But those on the back end, they kept it going because they were making so much money, both sides, man, and the bankers. They were making a fortune. So they didn't want that war to end. They kept it going, right? So when it ended in 1942, I'm sorry, 1945, the military industrial complex, they got hooked on all that money they were making. The corporations got hooked on all that money they were making. So if you end the war, you end the money. So how do we keep the money coming in without the war? That's where the
Proxy
so-called
wars.
war. That's where the Cold War came in at. They created the Cold War to keep the tension going, to build up the nuclear defense, the submarines and the planes, all of this military inventions, based upon stolen National Socialist technology. They kept it going. The chemicals that was used during World War II, we put those in the hospital. Where do you think chemotherapy came from? Chemotherapy, you can thank Winston Churchill for that, because Winston Churchill, that devil, that snake, he brought sulfur onto the scene, and they had agreed above board. Hitler said, no, Fox, we're not dealing with that. No sulfur. We're not getting down like that. So Winston Churchill said, okay, we're not going to get down like that. This snake sent a ship to Italy, and the Allies bombed it. It was accidentally bombed. And they noticed that a lot of people got sick, got messed up. But they also noticed when they were inspecting the injured in that explosion, their white blood cells exploded. The white blood cells exploded. So it's like, oh my goodness, this chemical right here, it increases the white blood cells. These devils use that for cancer, not understanding that, yeah, you can use it on the surface level, but at the root level, you're gonna kill a person. You see, but that was money. That was money. Chemotherapy is big business.
They didn't want to cure people. They just want to fucking ease their fucking ailments. Gotta make money.
On the surface, it looked good. Like, wow, we can give these people this right here, and the white blood cells will increase, and it'll go to war against the cancer in the body. But what they didn't tell people was that it's going the chemotherapy is going to kill all the cells. Like radiation, it's going to kill all the cells. But they didn't care about that. Now we got something that we can give people a little hope, and people will pay us money. That came out of
Djehuty. People who are watching this podcast, some of them have cancer. Tell them what's a better solution than chemotherapy.
Plants. Okay, what part of your body is made up of a chemical? Because chemotherapy is petroleum. And petroleum was big in World War II. And you tell me, beloved, what part of your body is made up of petroleum? Your brain?
I would assume.
Heart? Your pancreas? What part of your body is made up of petroleum? None. Petroleum is inorganic. Your body is organic. You cannot use that which is inorganic to heal that which is organic. Gary, if you give something to a well person that will make the well person sick, you cannot give it to a sick person and expect to make them well. It's illogical. It's illogical.
So what do people do?
It's the plants. They have to alkalize and ozonate. Look here, man. Why do you think it's banned in America? Huh? Why do you think true cancer curing or healing is banned in America, right? Especially the ozone. Now, you guys can't see it, but behind me is an ozone machine, which is now banned in the state of California, but it's okay. I got several of those bad boys. And I've been on oxygen therapy since 1999. That's one half of the cure. Look, you're talking about cancer. Hey, we can open up the floodgates and talk about AIDS, genital herpes. It don't matter. Alkalinity and ozone, which is enhanced oxygen, is the cure for it all. Anything so-called lethal or fatal, alkalinity and ozone is the cure, and it's cheap.
Okay, so you have a oxygen machine in your house, you said?
You damn right. I have an ozone. I have several ozone generators.
Ozone generators. That's what they're called.
Man, if you could smell this water is ozonated water. This is the best water you can drink. Now, it says Bloss. I'm using the Bloss jar. I'm using a glass container to hold my water because ozone holds best in glass.
What
And
about
it's all,
silver? Is it true that if you put silver in water, it helps clean it?
yeah, silver is a great container, and then you have colloidal silver and you have ionic silver that you can put in the water. But it's different from ozone. Ozone is a gas. Ozone is what takes place or what occurs after a thunderstorm. You ever notice that after
Air smells so good.
that's ozone? Why? Because the bolts, right? The lightning bolts, right? They strike the O2 molecules, right? Oxygen is O2, right? Two molecules of oxygen. The lightning bolts splice the O2, and the O2s become O1s. So you got a whole bunch of O1s floating around in the atmosphere that attach onto O2s. So O2 plus O1 is O3, also known as ozone or enhanced oxygen. It's all around us, man. You know,
Where do people get that product?
what product?
The ozone machine.
Uh Now California, which is
A
the
Democratic hellhole, obviously.
dumbest, just the most effed up state in America. They got it banned, people. So if you're in California,
What was their excuse for having it banned?
those idiots thought that beneficial ozone was the same thing as the negative ozone that comes from the automobiles that was allegedly making a hole in the ozone layer. So they just saw the word
They
ozone.
found an excuse to ban something that was helping people. Gotcha.
They took ozone. They're like, okay, ozone, which is beneficial to people, is pronounced the same way and spelled the same way as the ozone over here that's messing up the ozone layer. Oh shit, this all about climate
Gotta go.
control now, right? It's all about climate control now. So we will ban the ozone machines. So that's what they did in California. But I believe in Ohio, New York, Florida, Texas, you guys can still get ozone machines. So you can find a good ozone machine on Amazon.com. You can find a good ozone machine on eBay.com. And then the independent companies, A2O is a good company. So you can find ozone on the market from $50 to about $5,000, depending on your loot. And if you don't have any money, people, let me tell you, the little unit that costs $50 will get the job done. They only go for like 15 to 20 minutes, but they get the job done. Even if you have to use that bad boy 3 times in a row, that's what you do.
Is it like a humidifier?
Um see, a humidifier is that's something that deals with like water, right? You have to a little gadget and it forms a mist. Ozone,
Correct.
but that's a mist, so that's water. So the box or the container is similar, but the outcome is different. So you got the humidifier is mist. Ozone is a clear, odorless. Well, I shouldn't say odorless because it does have a smell, but it is a clear gas. It is a clear gas and it bubbles, so you can smell it. It's very, 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 very powerful. So it's not like a humidifier, but a humidifier is something that people should have as well too. But an ozone machine is totally different because,
Okay.
ladies, if you're dealing with yeast infection, candida, parasites, what have you, you can take ozone. Yeah, you can take the ozone, put a fish stone on that bad boy, and you can insert it in the yoni or the vagina. You can put it in the rectum for if you want to ozonate your water for an enema. You can drink the water. I'm drinking it right now. You can drink it out of a glass. You can even ozonate your bath water. I take ozone baths, man. Hey, listen, my son had eczema, right? My eldest son had eczema, right? When I got him on the scene, because I went through some crazy stuff with his mom, right? But when I got him back on the scene in 6 months, Gary, in 6 months, that dude was healed. And you know what I used? Ozone. You can even ozonate oil like olive oil and apply the olive oil to the skin. I don't know why these people are suffering from eczema and they're suffering from psoriasis like they don't have an alternative, like they don't have an answer. When I listen to people suffering with discharge and obesity and erectile dysfunction and genital herpes and cancer and high blood sugar levels and high cholesterol, all this stuff here, I just sit back and like, my goodness, they've really done a number on us here in the Matrix. We don't have to suffer. We're suffering from ignorance.
Yeah.
Now, I know we got on help talking about like World War II, but like I tell everybody, that's the demarcation. World War II. When we talk about feminism and the family going to hell, that started after World War II. Cancer increasing, that started after World War II. Everything that we're bitching and complaining about, for the most part, it comes post World War II. The fertilizers, the toxic chemicals, the women and the problems
All
that
done
they.
on purpose. Let's keep it real. This is all done on purpose. This is, see, a lot of people who know this type of knowledge, Djehuty, they always try to say, "Oh, these people are just stupid. They don't know what they're doing." No, 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 no. This is all planned, brother.
Look, there's no accident with these people, right? I believe it was FDR. He said, anytime you see something that happens in the society, it was planned to happen that way. See, things may happen inadvertently with us, but with these guys, they plan everything. Look, didn't the time just go back Sunday, November 5th? That came out of World War II. A lot of people don't know that. That came out of World War II. Daylight savings time. Why did they want to save daylight time? They wanted more time to bomb the Axis. They wanted more time to bomb Germany. So they set the time back. So they would have an extra hour of light to bomb the hell out of Germany during World War II. Certain taxes that we still pay came out of World War II. The people don't have a clue. There are no accidents in the Matrix, brother. It's planned to happen that way. No coincidences, bro.
Uh,
And
uh,
it works. A lot of people think it's a coincidence. That's
well,
why it works.
let me switch gears with you for a little bit. 1860, the black man got the right to vote in the United States of America. Um, Basically, racist white people back in those days gave people who they consider lesser than them, people who were they consider three-fifths of a person by law, and they gave them the right to vote 60 years before white women. White women did not get the right to vote till 1920. Djehuty, when I say something like that to you, that
Okay.
black men 1860, white women 1920, what does that tell you about the mindset of the men who were in power back then? And what could we actually learn from them? From since all these problems we have right now, every single one of them go to feminism. Every single problem in society, from broken marriages to 85% of rapists being raised by single mothers, this all goes back to feminism. So when I say something like that to you, that in the 1860s, black men right to vote, 60 years later, white women, what does that tell you about the mindset of people back in those days?
Number one, voting is for those who have logic, who operate on logic. It is not for people who operate on emotions. It's just a biological fact that women are more emotional than men. And the type of intelligence or logic that they use is called emotional intelligence or emotional logic.
Is that even something? Because when someone says emotional intelligence, I think that's something a feminist made up. And when it comes to emotional intelligence, isn't that a fucking oxymoron?
It really doesn't matter because you still get the outcome that we're talking about, so my point is, even with so-called emotional intelligence pertaining to those creatures, you're going to end up where we are right now, you see. So you have intelligence by itself and you have logic by itself. Okay, not emotional logic or emotional intelligence, just logic by itself, linear. Intelligence by itself, linear. That's who voting is for. Voting is a left brain activity. Men, we are naturally left brain. Logic, calculations, mathematics, deduction. Like that's just who we are. So that's why it started out that way. So when you look at 1920 up until where we are right now, it's actually been over 100 years, right? 1920 to this is 1923 is 103 years. Look at your society, bro. Look at your society. You said it's out of pocket. It's out of whack. It's because of the female. Now, I have discussions with females periodically, and they always go the same. I'm like, listen, women most definitely have their place. But when we look at the overall scheme of things, a lot of which we're talking about right now in this session, society went through the female, not the male. Men are gatekeepers. They're gatekeepers. When we deal with keeping things in motion, festivities and rituals and celebrations and holidays or what have you, that's the woman's domain. Women keep that going. Women will remember the anniversary more so than a man. Why? Because we're dealing with an anniversary. We're dealing with a celebration, something that's festivial. So that's in them. Women, birthday parties, like marriages, uh, you know, our Thanksgiving, right? The turkey and what have you, the candy for Halloween, the New Year's, the beer, pretzels, chip. Women are over that. Women get off into that. You see, so that's their thing, not our thing. Man, we're basic fucking creatures. Give us a beer and turn on the baseball game.
What about the beta males that have been born to society to these single mothers? These are the left wing, woke people of society who have absolutely no logic. They think based off emotion. They're men, but they were all raised by single mothers. What are we to do about that segment of society, Djehuty?
Those are unskillful beta males because when you go back before World War II, most men, American men, fit the description of beta. They had one wife, they looked forward to marriage and taking care of the family, what have you. They weren't, in gyms trying to get all jacked. They weren't trying to run through the women's. Our society was not how it is today. And a lot of that is because we have run afoul of understanding the alpha energy. So the betas that we have on the scene today are unskillful. These are unskillful betas who are the result of single mothers. You see, there's no balance. You need a man and a woman for balance. So when you just have the woman, you have imbalance. So these unskillful beta males are the products of that which is imbalance. The single mother, the single parent home, no man, no guidance, no reprimand, no discipline, all the things that a man represent gone, right? And so when you have a male who requires these things and they don't get it, by default, they're going to pick up from the female. You see, no woman can outfather a man. It's just
no
impossible.
Woman can teach a boy to be a man, can they, Djehuty?
It's impossible. So you're going to get what you have today. You're going to have that great lacking. When Tupac was in court, the thug, Tupac, the rapper, he was in tears. And he said, you know what, Your Honor? I wouldn't be like this if I had a father. He knew. I'm from South Central Los Angeles. All my homeboys from 98 Main Street Mafia Crip, they admired my father. It's in us as males, as teenagers, as boys, to look up to men. So my thug homeboys, they knew that we had, myself and my siblings, what they didn't have, which is why they respected my father, because they knew they were supposed to have a father and they didn't. They were raised by their mothers, most of whom were whores. My best friend, Monster, Little Monster, mother was a prostitute, had no father, but he respected the hell out of my father. All the thugs respected the hell out of my father. It's innate, it's in us.
Djehuty, speaking of whores, I want to get biblical for you with a second, because you're one of the few people I know who read the Quran, read the Bible, read the Torah, and everything in between. In the Bible, it says Jesus took the stone away and basically would not stone the adulterer because he said those without sin cannot cast a stone. Or those with sin cannot cast a stone.
Those without sin, first stone. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, correct? Okay. We both know the Bible has been rewritten many times.
Oh, absolutely.
Is it possible that that verse was rewritten? Because I believe it was. I believe that if Jesus was this just man and, a man who basically wanted the good for the people, he would have threw that stone at that whore, wouldn't he? Because if you look at all the problems that come from society, They all come from women who have kids, single mothers, and those kids usually end up being the bottom barrel of society. And again, if you're one of those guys who made it from a situation like that, congratulations. But most people fail.
Right.
And those type of people are a detriment to society, not just in America, but all around the world. So would it have been better or more just if Jesus actually cast the goddamn first rock?
Well, you have to understand that the Bible has been rewritten. It is a metaphysical book. When Jesus called the woman a dog, it wasn't a dog in the sense of a pejorative term. Jesus was just recognizing that this woman was a member of the dog star cult. When you deal with the series, you're dealing with the dog star. So a lot of language, man, is very, very convoluted. And so today we take what we read and we run with it, and we believe that it's always said that it's always been the same way. Like we don't have a King James version, and then the Schofield version, and all of these are the what do we have uh, uh, man, top of my mind. But anyway, we have about 50 to 55 different versions of the Bible, all rewritten, different translations. You see, and even before then, you got to go back in time.
Mm-hmm.
You have to ask yourself. You have to go back in time, and you have to ask yourself, what happened to the Apocrypha? What happened to the Gospel of Barnabas? You see, what happened to the Gospel of Mary Magdalene? What happened? We're going to go back to Rome, and we're going to deal with the Roman Empire. We're going to deal with Constantine. We're going to deal with these meetings of what stays in the Bible and what will come out of the Bible. The book has been greatly tampered with. It serves a purpose, a political purpose. Politics created your religion. See, what a lot of people don't know, even the Muslims, they don't know that Prophet Muhammad chose Mecca for business purposes. Mecca was a merchant center.
Really?
So yeah, Muhammad wanted converse. So it couldn't have been Medina. Medina wasn't the merchant capital over there. It was Mecca. So he changed the capital of Islam to Mecca.
Muhammad was a capitalist.
Yeah, yes, he was. Look, most people don't know that capitalism started from the Arab world, Mecca, the Muslims. Capitalism birth is not with Europeans; it's with Arabs.
Why are
You have
most Arabs communists nowadays?
you
Just
have
propaganda?
Yeah, because you have to look at the areas over there. But it is propaganda. But look, the same people that created capitalism,
Great communism.
communism, socialism, Marxism, communism, all of this shit here.
I'd rather live under capitalism, Djehuty.
Well, my thing is a person has to deem what is best for them. So you're going to choose a capitalist
Because
society.
I'm a winner. Because losers choose communism.
I'm gonna choose. I'm gonna choose what works, right? So you got a lot of people out there, brother, who think socialism is best for humanity. Now, under free will, let them have that. Let them keep that. They believe that the government is best, and we all work for the government. Hey, that's their prerogative. Don't force that on me. Let me have my free will, right? Let me create on my own. Let me do business the way I want to do business, right? Free market, free in enterprise, what have you. I'm going to function better under that. Now, you got some people who are lazy, who are ignorant, and they want the government to do everything for them. They're going to choose socialism. That's them. Don't don't put that on me. So that's why I like.
But how do you do that, Djehuty? Because they want to they want to have you pay your fair share. I mean, they're coming for your purses. That's what they did in Canada. That's what they did in Australia. So they're not going to let you be free, brother.
Well, they could be, but remember, it's a puppet game. We're dealing with marionettes here. A lot of these people would just stay and be miserable. But you got television, you got Hollywood, you got movies, what have you. So people get to see, and it's like, okay, those people are living wrong over there in the West. We need to communize those people. We need to socialize those people. And so it's that whole order out of chaos, and it's the whole Hegelian dialectic thing. These people, these socialists and communists, they can play a role. They serve a purpose. Boogeyman, socialism, communism, what have you. They will take away from capitalism. Nothing can touch capitalism, brother. Nothing can touch. I said it earlier. Nothing can touch the United States of America. So a lot of us think that okay, we're going to lose capitalism. We're going to lose the free enterprise, what have you. The masses are going to lose it, but there will always be a nucleus. There will always be a minority that will always have capitalism, free enterprise, the free market system, and all of that. But the masses will lose it because they're not worthy of it. When they had the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia, and the mayor, the wife of the mayor of Philadelphia, approached Ben Franklin, and she inquired of Mr. Franklin, "What type of government do we have now after that Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia?" And Benjamin Franklin said, "A republic, if you can keep it. A republic, if you can keep it." The masses of the people could not keep the republic. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. What's going on in the world today, we deserve it.
Woo!
Because Thomas Jefferson said, freedom requires vigilance. Freedom,
The tree of liberty must be shaken with the blood of patriots and tyrants every once in a while, correct?
there's a lot of radical stuff that should have took place, but what happened? We wanted the money. We wanted to be like the rich people. You know, that dominated. That mindset, that consciousness dominated. It dominated so much that we are where we are today, following rich people. Do you know why we eat white bread?
Tell me.
Because rich people. Why do you think we call it refined? Because rich people were refined. The masses were degenerates. They were the vulgate, the vulgar. That's why we have vulgar language. Don't talk like that. That's vulgar language. Only the vulgate speaks like that. That's where that came from. The Latin Vulgate Bible. That was another Bible. I was just talking about Bibles. The Latin Vulgate. That was for the masses. It wasn't the same Bible that the rich people read from. Wasn't the same Bible.
Oh, you mean the rich people's Bible says astrology's okay, but the
Rich
poor
people,
people's Bible, oh, that's from the devil, correct?
yeah, the rich people had a different type of Bible, totally understood it, were not averse to astrology, was not averse to the number science in the Bible, the metaphysics in the Bible. They knew the Bible was metaphorical. Some parts were metaphorical, some parts were historical, some parts were metaphysical. They understood that. Whereas the masses took that damn book in linear fashion, 100% in linear fashion. And that's why you have a difference, right? Rich people with a Bible, poor people with a Bible. What's the difference? The rich people got snapperoos. The rich people are eating every night, right? Nice clothes, luxury. The poor people read from the same book, allegedly believe in the same God, and they're broke and struggling. What's up? What's up with that?
Okay, let me ask you something, Djehuty, because I got to play devil's advocate here a little bit. Since 1944, Bretton Woods,
Okay.
1945, we've had more prosperity in human history than any time in recorded human history. More people have been taken out of poverty. A lot of good has happened when it comes to the monetary system and empowering people financially, whether they live in Africa, America, or Canada. They've all basically gained because of what happened in Bretton Woods in 1944. Now, what would you say to people who would be elitists who have asked me this is, wait a second, have we really done that bad of a job? What would be your response to that?
There was good, obviously, but there has been more harm. It has come at a price. So if you look at the little good that they've done, right? Because we've come up, right? And so I was making a point about rich people while we're messed up. And this actually ties off into it. Poor people were actually healthier than rich people because they ate grains, legumes, vegetables, what have you. Their diet was better. Rich people ate a whole bunch of animals, a lot of butter, a lot of fat, a lot of meat, what have you. So there's a book. Um, it's actually like a little like children's book,
And just to
and it's
specify, you are a vegetarian or a vegan, correct?
plant based.
Plant based.
Plant
Okay.
based. So I have a book on what they do not teach you in history, right? Great little book, and it deals with the lifespan of the rich, which were like in their 40s or their 50s, and how much meat that they ate per day. When you watch movies about the English people and you see the queens, the princesses, and their faces are white because underneath that, their skin was atrocious because of the eczemas and the acne and just all of the diseases from eating so many animal products. So we
Do you look down on meat eaters?
do I not look down on meat eaters.
Do you think that some humans should eat meat and some shouldn't, or should, in your opinion, everyone have a plant-based diet?
No, history records that um, society, the various societies, have always consumed animal flesh. I've said that on our last podcast that
Correct.
we've never had a problem with meat, brother. Even if you look at the Native Americans, right? The Native Americans ate meat, right? They just did not eat the quantity that we eat today. Africans ate meat, right? The Chinese ate meat. You're not going to find plant-based societies on planet Earth. That's a new thing. That's a new phenomenon. But don't get it twisted. It was 20% animal flesh, 80% plants. Okay, 20% animals, 80% plants. They did not eat the large amounts of flesh that we eat today. That is chemicalized, which is the problem. So the rich people in America always ate horrible. They created a diet to separate themselves from poor people. So rich people said, we don't want to eat wheat bread, which is a more wholesome and nutritious bread to consume. Wheat bread, that's brand that has color. The rich people said, take the wheat germ out of it. That's why we have wheat germ in the health food stores. It's a waste byproduct, just keeping it real. And so when you take the wheat germ out, the bread is white. And then you have to put nutrients back into it. That's why they call it refined. And they'll put a few vitamins. They don't put it all back in. They'll put a little, riboflavin in there, and some of your B vitamins, what have you, a little iron, a little niacin, what have you. That's it. But the wheat had it all. And that's what the poor people ate. So the poor people were living to be 90, 100, 105, what have you. Rich people were croaking early. They were constipated, belly.
Kind of sounds like karma to me.
Well, you can call it that dietary karma. But let me finish my point. My point is, in us following the rich, we messed ourselves up. We
Mm.
messed ourselves. This is why I say, yeah, they did it. Things change. A lot of people came up, as far as wealth, quote unquote, so-called income, what have you. But it came at a price. Now, if you ask me, was it worth it? Now, I'll say no, it was not. Under the circumstance of how they did it, no, it was not. But if you let Tahuti Mara do it, then it will be worth it. And I'm gonna tell you the difference. I'm gonna tell you the difference because airplanes are nice, right? Luxury airplanes, these cars, the Teslas, the Mercedes Benz, Maybachs, Lamborghinis, right? The Mac computer that I'm on. I don't know what you're on, but all that stuff. Would you agree that these are nice
Yeah,
creations,
of course.
not inventions? The Rolex watch,
All
the
right,
gold
what do you think
chains.
about that, Djehuty?
You know what I'm saying? You got that right there.
NBA championship ring. Can't buy that.
The nice stadiums, right? The Golden State Warriors got a new stadium in San Francisco. Like all those
Chase
nice.
Center.
Okay, so these are nice inventions, right? Nice creations, right?
Yes.
But here's the problem with them all. Everything I just said, everything I just acknowledged. Here's a problem with it. They were created from the left brain. It wasn't balanced. If they would have created from a balanced mind, you would have jets that would not leave any exhaust. You would have cars that would run off of hydrogen, where the exhaust would be water that you could run behind a car and freaking drink. You see, you wouldn't, this nice, beautiful Mac computer. The reason why I got these glasses on and I got this screen thing here,
Ooh.
protector, is because of the EMFs that's emitted from this wonderful, beautiful gadget. It's a nice this computer. I like Macs. It's awesome, but it'll harm my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it'll harm my eyes. It'll harm the tissues. Like this sauna that's next to me. If it was not anti EMF, like this thing knocks out 99% of EMFs. If it was not for that, this thing would harm me, bro. I would be in there destroying my nut sacks, man, destroying my sperm cells, and this nice gadget that I enjoy. It would harm me, brother. You see, so like the refrigerator, which is like the way it's set up, it harms us. The microwave oven, oh my God.
I mean, you got to be a moron to use a microwave oven in 2023.
I'm just making a point. It's a nice little gadget. It speeds up things. It gets the food prepared in 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever's on the box of fast food. That's another thing. Fast food, right? Food is not supposed to be fast. A woman is not supposed to have a baby fast in 9 months, not 1 month or 2 months, what have you. You have to let nature take its course. So when you look at all of these wonderful inventions, you have to look at the price paid. There has been an adverse side effect, and humanity is paying for it. So if we look at medicine, now a lot of people think that the world of medicine was a great thing, right? Modern medicine, people are allegedly living longer. Like, really? The quality of health, is it better? Like, really? 1 million people die every year from something called iatrogenic. It's the third leading cause of death in the United States of America. Heart disease, cancer, then your damn physician from their unnecessary surgeries and their damn drugs. The third leading cause of death, doctors. 1 million people are now dying. And 1 million people used to never die unless it was the bubonic plague or some type of plague. And that was rare. But every single year, 1 million something people die. When you look at the machines that cleanse the blood for the people with dialysis, the dialysis
Mm-hmm.
machine. Dialysis machine puts chemicals into the blood that you cannot remove, which is why these people end up on dialysis for life, and a certain amount of them get their legs amputated. So dialysis saves lives, does it? When you're on it for life, when your blood is toxic now, is acidic now, and you lose your foot? No, people. So there's a price paid, and this is what a lot of people miss. When we start wearing a watch on the left wrist, man, we messed up the bioenergy because energy comes in on the left side of the body and exit on the right. So I would tell people if you're going to wear a watch, wear it on the right. So we separated ourselves from nature. Have you heard of a woman called Rachel Carson who wrote a book called The Silent Spring?
Name sounds familiar.
Rachel Carson. Study Rachel Carson and what her mother did for her. Rachel Carson was homeschooled and nature was her school. And this woman did research out of this world that pretty much surmises everything that I'm saying. And this was back, Rachel Carson was back in the 50s or the 1960s. And everything that I'm saying, this woman came to that conclusion even before I incarnated this present life dispensation. So again, these are nice creations, but and people have prospered more after Bretton Woods, 44-8. Well, but it came at a price.
And the price was too high.
And yeah, the question is that price worth it? Is that price worth it? The suits, I like suits, but I can't wear a suit like people in corporate America because it's too tight. And I need to breathe. And my circulation must be free to flow. If I was a female, I wouldn't wear a bra when I came into my home. In society, I would do it because of the perverts. But in my home, I wouldn't wear a bra because of the lymphatic area. My lymph fluid must be free to flow. I don't wear tight underwear. I wear boxers. I let my thing hang. Oxygen. I don't believe in asphyxiation of the genitalia. So all this Victoria's Secret, oh, that look nice, and a little G-string up the butt, and the shoe, the nice shoes that you wrap around the ankles, it looks good. But man, when it comes to health, man, it's insalubrious. Look at high heel shoes, man. That's the Western version a foot binding over there in China. A woman can't run from Jack the Ripper in high heel shoes. She got to take her shoes off
Yeah,
to
but
run.
they look good in them, Djehuty.
But that's the point I'm making. The aesthetics are there, but what about the health? See, if the shoes look good and the shoes are detrimental to health, well, when your health is shot, you can't bitch or complain. And most Americans do. Yeah, man, I got diabetes, man. I gotta take a shot. I gotta test my blood. I gotta prick my finger. I gotta take. I gotta go to chemotherapy. I gotta go to dialysis. You're bitching and complaining. Do you want to do those things? No, I don't want to, but I have to. That's what the doctor told me. What happened to the quality of life? You see what I'm saying? So look here, brother. You have the money, but your health is compromised. And that's why I said on the last podcast, people pursue wealth at the expense of their health. And once they get the wealth, they have to spend that in pursuit of their health. And they started out with health. You see, when you take a little baby, right? I don't know if you can remember from your children. When they were babies, their tongues were pink and smelled fresh.
Correct.
But what happened when we put them on the canned food, the Similac, the Pro Soybean, what have you? It had a little white coating over the tongue. And then their breath started to smell differently, some on the foul side. When they were breastfed, the poop was like mustard, had a scent, but it didn't stink. When we put them on the Similac, the Enfamil, the Pro Soybean, their poop, it was like a skunk was up in them. It's like a skunk died up in these babies, the way their poop smelled. But see, that's supposed to be advancement. Man outdid nature. The breast made by nature was replaced by the aluminum can food made by man.
And the IQs went way down, brother.
But see, when we talk about advancement, right? We're talking about post 1944. Look at the price paid. So was it worth it? And you're right, IQs went down. That was just one aspect of it. There's a lot of things at play here to make
my kids were breastfed. I married a woman who exactly. I married a woman who wasn't worried about, oh shit, my breast might sag or something like that. She wasn't worried about that. That's what society told her. She wasn't worried about that. She breastfed for 3 fucking years, brother. 3 years. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. My kid is in 5th grade. He had the highest IQ test in all of 5th grade. Again, it works.
These people knew what they were doing.
Yes.
So, but see, even though it sounds like I'm shitting on the advancement of the Western world, I'm just pointing out
the negatives.
The negative that came from the left brain. That's why I said I could outdo them. If Tootie Conrad made a computer, you wouldn't have to wear these glasses. These are anti-blue glasses because these things emit distorted light. The blue light messes us up, causes insomnia, causes us to have insomnia, headaches, blurred vision. I mean,
they can fix this. They don't want to.
But see, Gary, that's my point. That's why I said Djehuty could fix it, because the right brain. The material to make the glasses to be anti-EMF and anti-blue, it would be in the screen. You would purchase the computer with it already installed, already a part of it, I should say. It would have diodes in it to eat up the radiation, or it would have black tourmaline or black obsidian. It would have activated charcoal, aka carbon. It would have seaweed in it. So people say, man, Tootie, aren't you a hypocrite, man? You talk all this shit here about computers and stuff like that, but you're using it. But I protect my health. I consume seaweed every freaking day. You see, I can benefit from all of this, but I'm an exception to the rule. The majority of the people can't benefit from it because they have breast cancer. They have brain cancer. I don't put a cell phone. I have a little diode on the back of the cell phone, but I don't put this up to my, you would never see me like, yeah, hello, what's up? Yeah, never. Speakerphone, why? Because this thing here is like putting a microwave oven up to your brain. You're cooking your brain, man. There's a book called Phone Gate that exposes the conspiracy of the cell phone. They know it was detrimental, but money. See, Gary, when we talk
You,
about
you know,
capital.
apples are the worst of all of them, right?
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
The point I want to make is, if I can remember my train of thought, is there was a conspiracy with the phone. The book is called Phone. That's just one of several phones. These people knew that these phones were dangerous and would eat us up, but they had enough money to pay the lobbyists to get them on the market. So here's where I was going. Oh, about capitalism. Now, capitalism only works, right? Successful capitalism only works.
Morality.
Boom, you said it. There it is.
Yep.
That's the problem I have
Yep.
with capitalism. People like capitalism, capitalism, like, no, you got
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be more.
See, I have this debate all the time, Djehuty, with
Yeah,
these
yeah.
fucking
You got
OnlyFan whores who make
got it.
100,000 a month
Gotta
selling
have
fucking
morality.
nudes. That's
You
the
got to
problem, Djehuty. People tell me OnlyFans is capitalism. I say it's a fucking cancer. It's a cancer on society. It destroys and it needs to be shut down. But you see, the people at the top, they want this shit to spread because when you have a lot of cancer when you in society, it breaks the root family. And when it breaks the root family, Djehuty, you know what happens? People ain't paying attention to the government. So governments can steal as much as possible. So that's why capitalism without morality never works.
It's not going to work, bro. But if you have the morality, brother, it's going to work. I get people who hit me up all the time. What do you eat, man? What do you do? You're always talking about life is beautiful and you're free. What do you do? I am in tune with nature. Look, brother, I'm not in the woods. I'm not in the forest. I got books. I got a computer. I got a 3D flat screen television. If I want to watch a 3D movie, I can do that. I have your technology. It's not harming me. I don't drink regular water. I make my water. This container, I'm only using this container to hold my water because it is glass. This is oxygenated water. I don't drink tap water. Tap water has more atrazine in it than the atrazine that was used in the frog experiment that caused the frogs to become homosexual. There's more atrazine in the tap water. And you do understand or know that your Dasani and your Aquafina and those other brands are nothing but tap water bottled at a different source. Not at the municipal source, but private sources, facilities. Nestle uses municipal tap water, but by law they get to say purified, filter, what have you. Man, I got documentaries that will blow people's mind. The sodium fluoride that's in the tap water. The men who put the sodium fluoride into the municipal water supply, they have to wear hazmat suits. They're wearing hazmat suits, bro, for the sodium fluoride. They're supposed to be good for our
Yeah,
children.
of course. That's what Hitler put in the concentration camps. Yeah, we know. We know. We know.
Children. They're going to put something in the water that's only good for allegedly only good for the children, but not good for the adults, not good for the elderly people. It's like, what's up with that? That's like putting something in the water and it's only going to be good for people with attention deficit disorder. Certain people.
Mm-hmm.
Segment of society. You're gonna put something in the water that's only good for a segment of the society, but not the whole or the entire society.
You got to be out your mind to think the government cares about our teeth that much to put fluoride in the water. I'll just leave it at that. If people actually believe that garbage, it is what it is. Djehuty, in closing out today, I just want to say one thing. I'm looking forward to 2024. I helped some people who were born in on the 23rd become mega stars in 2023. And my friend, you born on the 24th, I promise you, you're going to go to the gas station and people can be asking to take pictures with you. I think you're a positive for good. I look forward to you becoming a household name. But before we close this out, I want to ask you a very, very personal question. A lot of people look at me and they say I'm an arrogant man. It fucking turns a lot of people the wrong way. Everyone knows I'm the best of what I do. Everyone knows every numerologist and astrologist who's irrelevant at all fucking either attacks me for clout, because I'm the one who makes this engine move. When I look at you, Djehuty, I see an extremely intelligent, wise man, but I don't see a humble man. I see a
Mm.
man who's very confident. A lot of people would say borderline arrogant.
Oh yeah.
Um, are you afraid that your arrogance will rub some people the wrong way and they won't listen to you? Because that's what I hear from people. They say, I'm so arrogant, they don't want to listen. I usually respond by saying, you know what? I don't want you to learn from me. That's the way I look at things. Djehuty, um, what would you say to people to say, yo, be more humble, tone it down? What would be your response?
Number one, I don't consider myself arrogant. I always say that other people's perception of me is not my reality. They are confusing arrogance for self confidence. I am a self confident person. We've talked about a lot of things in this podcast, and I can back it up with material resources that would give most people headaches because I invest my money into
Knowledge.
books, into knowledge in the form of books, DVDs, Blu-ray, cassettes. I have all of that stuff. That's what I invest in. So I am a self-confident man. Not only do I have that which will substantiate what I'm saying and what I've said in this podcast, but I actually have the results. I have the results. I'm living the
You
life.
got receipts.
Yeah, I'm living the life that I've always wanted to live. I do things that I know that most Americans cannot do. You see, I'm free day in and day out. So when I go to Florida and I want to get on a yacht, that's exactly what I do. When I want a helicopter ride, no matter what city I go to, I get a helicopter ride. I do every single thing that I want to do. I don't make excuses for being plant based. Well, I would be plant based, but it's too expensive. When I was in Miami, right, in October, right, just last month, I spent
Pleasure to
seven.
have you here, brother.
Oh, it was great to be there. I love Florida, brother. I spend $70 to $100 every day on just lunch at Queen Planta in Coconut Grove, bro. And a lot of people are like, what? I could add that up and purchase groceries. I did that every single day. South Central Los Angeles, barely graduated from high school, never went to college, university, 0 degrees, but yet and still, I'm living the life on my freaking terms. And as I told you, I have no fear. I made it through 2020. I have no fear of 2030. I'm most definitely going to win because I know I'm guided. I know I'm protected. Yeah, I have knowledge, worldly knowledge, but I also have spiritual knowledge and spiritual insight.
What I like about you, Djehuty, is you're not one of these spiritual gurus, and that's what I do consider you, a spiritual guru. You're not one of these spiritual gurus who's talking about, yo, give away all your material stuff. You
No,
got to live like a fucking monk. Because I consider those people frauds. I'm going to tell you another day, Djehuty. If someone supposedly is the best of the best at what they do and they're humble, I don't believe they're the best of the best. Because the
right,
best of the best at everything that I've seen in life, whether it be Michael Jordan in basketball or a guy I know who's worth $11 billion,
right.
they are not freaking humble. They let people know they're very confident because they believe in themselves. And if someone is a bit humble, that's kind of a red flag to me. What about you, Djehuty? Am I off?
Yeah, well, a lot of people who say that are people who don't have the action, so they tell you to be humble because it's showing them up. I dealt with a lot of characters, man, on my path to getting to where I am, and I really, really, really learned a lot from people just interacting with people. A lot of people who talk the talk, right? I'm a spiritual guru, and I'm humble. Yeah, you're humble because you don't have the knowledge in order to work,
Preach.
in order to get results. So I used to tell people, listen, when you use your spiritual knowledge, right, which is supposed to be better than mine, and you're supposed to be on this higher level,
Mm-hmm.
when you can use, this is what I tell people, when you can use it to purchase a Mercedes Benz, take the keys and give it to a homeless person or a stranger on the street, then I'll respect you. You must use your spiritual knowledge to get material things. then I'll respect you. Those people did not have the knowledge to convert the invisible into the visible, or the intangible to the tangible.
As above, so below.
They couldn't get the Rolex watch. Not because we're frivolous, what have you, but you got to show the people the power of your knowledge. What do the people want and need more than anything else on planet Earth? It's the moolah, right? It's the Benjamins, it's the cheese. So if you got all of this knowledge and you can't get the things that the rappers are getting, that the pro ball players are getting, that the hustlers are getting, that the drug dealers are getting, what good is your goddamn knowledge? We're here in the matrix. We have eyes to see, right? We see the bling, right? And most people with the bling are in entertainment. They are entertainers. We're people of knowledge, right? Spiritual guru, health enthusiast, light worker, whatever, all the names out there, you can apply to them, right? But are we living the lifestyles of the so-called degenerates, the entertainers, the marionettes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? How is it that people who don't believe in God, who are not spiritual, who are degenerates, and all of these other things operate on low vibration, engage in low vibrational sex and sexuality, how they outdoing us, brother? I used to have that mindset, bro, a poor righteous teacher. But see, I study too much. I'm like, wait a minute, poor righteous teacher. What am I saying to young people out there who are looking up to me?
Mm-hmm.
Poor righteous teacher. So if I'm a righteous teacher, I'm going to be poor. I flipped that script there, brother. When I learned, you can see my dictionary.
I did the same thing as you, brother.
Brother, I said these social engineers are creating new words, right? When a new dictionary comes out, it says 50,000 new words. I'm like, are these 50,000 new words that have always existed, but they're just now making them available? Or did they just create them like 50,000 new words newly created? So I said, if the social engineers can create words, I can create words, brother. And that's exactly what I started doing. So when I came back from Atlanta in 2008, I created the term, or coined the term, spiritual baller. Because here it was about balling, but it was material. He balled, man. Oh boy,
too many spiritual communists, brother. Too many entitled spiritual communists. I like that word.
I created spiritual baller. I'm spiritual.
We're going to put that on the shirt and sell it, brother.
I said, I'm spiritual, but I'm balling, right? I'm in the world. I'm not of it, but I'm in it, you know? So, and when I'm in New York City for a whole week, I don't drive. I got a limousine for the family. People are like, well, are you a professional ball player? I'm like, no, I'm a herbalist. I'm a medical. I'm a guru. And people are just blown away, like, damn. Because the family is getting out of a limousine to go into our hotel, Times Square, New York, right? The whole family riding helicopters. We went to Hawaii, man, and it was a trip. And this really messed me up. We were the only family in the VIP section, man. I'm talking about hundreds of people behind this little gate that was like the regular.
As it should be.
Brother, we were the only one. I'm looking like, oh my God, this is what's going on in America. Like we can't be the only people that can afford the VIP treatment, but we were, bro. I'm talking about hundreds of people, white people, Asians, black. Like we were the only people, the Montroe family, the only freaking people. And I'm like, I have really come a long way. And you cannot give credit to the school system because I'm not a product of the school system.
No, you ain't, brother.
I'm self-taught. I'm autodidactic, and it worked. I don't like to talk about money because I'm out here on the West Coast. And so there's a certain code we go by.
Shame the brokies. Shame them. Shame them. Maybe if you shame them, they'll go to work, Djehuty.
I'm not. These cats here, they'll get the gat to show you where it's at. We dealing with criminals out here. I'm sorry
and
to say
we're dealing with criminals in the elite too, Djehuty, Rothschilds, Rockefeller, Lee, J.P. Morgan.
Yeah, but see, they give you a heads up. Like I tell people,
they tell you ahead of time, right, brother?
These thug dudes, like the little rapper from Philadelphia who got killed in Los Angeles, they didn't give him a warning, like, yo, cuz we about to come down there and rob you. If you there when we get there, we taking you out. He didn't get that warning. You got to give Rothschilds and Rockefeller and Warburg and all these people, you got to give them credit.
They told you not to take the vax.
They tell you what they're going to do. They tell you in the form of movies. They tell you in the form of music. They tell you in the form of books or literature. They give you the heads up. These little degenerate thugs, they don't do that. They catch you off guard. Catch him slipping, cuz. Catch him slipping, cuz. Break yourself, fool. Break yourself. It's totally different, brother.
So,
So the thug,
but the Rothschilds do that for karmic reasons.
yeah, they have the intelligence. They're intelligent thugs. See, if I was going to be a thug, I would be an intelligent thug. Thug
Mm.
intellectual.
That
I
that's
gotta
that's like emotion. That's like emotional intelligence is the oxymoron, Djehuty.
no. It's like so you're saying Rothschild is not a thug and not intelligent, not wise?
No,
You
I'm talking about the street thugs.
oh no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like
Of
Rothschild.
course, Rothschild,
Yeah.
man, top of the food
So
chain, brother.
I'm saying that if I was going to be like those guys, I would, as a thug, right? Somebody who's doing harm, what have you. I would use wisdom. I would use intelligence like those people, and I would let you know. Listen, I'm robbing your ass. You really don't need my advice or what have you. I'm robbing you. You know, if you come here on this day, I'm gonna charge your ass 3 times what I normally charge. That's giving people the heads up.
That's
So
gouging.
you know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna go to Tahuti on Friday because he told me.
Of course, he's taxing you. Like, don't go to the movie theater on the weekend; they're gonna tax.
I'm giving you a heads up. So if I had to be a thug because my brain worked, I would be intelligent with my thugism. I would be just like Rothschild, Rockefeller, or Morgan, Warburg, etc., etc., etc. If I was going to do that, but I'm a spiritual guru, man. I'm a health enthusiast, man. I'm a light worker. That's how I get down. That's how I generate my snaps, man. I have generated millions of dollars following this right here, Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and God's righteousness, and all things of the matrix shall be added unto you. I have this fantastic, magical life that the matrix did not give to me. And because the matrix did not give it to me, the matrix cannot take it, brother. I sleep better than babies every night of my life, bro. We'll talk about that in the future, and we'll talk about the
Yes, we
dream.
will, brother.
We'll
I,
deal with that stuff in the
oh,
future.
one of my greatest excitements is doing a weekly podcast with you, brother. I've been around politicians. I've been around billionaires. I've been around influencers. You are the only man I do this with, brother. Number two, whenever I'm on a podcast, I completely dominate. I dominate the talking. You, my friend, have so much wisdom. Even I take a backseat to you, brother. So I salute you. And
Thank
let me ask you something, Djehuty. Tell people how they can contact you. How can they get a hold of you?
Yes, people can contact me by going to support@lifemasteryforum.com. Support@lifemasteryforum.com. Now, it's not me answering the email. It is my girl Lisa. She will most definitely forward it to me. You guys can also find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Tahuti Speaks. Tahuti Speaks on X or Twitter. Those are the only 2 platforms that I have, the lifemasteryforum.com and Tahuti Speaks at Twitter or X.
You can find me just hashtag GG33 on let's see, Instagram, Matrix Prime _ on Twitter. If I'm not shadow banned, find GG33 or my backup account, Numerology Now. And guys, I just want to say that I have done enough podcasts with degenerates, with people who are of lower intelligence. It is an honor to actually do something with someone with a high IQ level. Djehuty, you are what I call an evolved 9. We'll have that as a little inside joke between ourselves, brother. At the end of the day, let's fucking dominate in 2024. This has been a GG33 production sponsored by Gg33 Academy, the largest occult school in the freaking world.
Right on.
Always a pleasure, brother.
Likewise, brother. We'll do it again real soon.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.
Hold on, turn off the recording. Brother, as always, you killed it.
Oh, brother, this